Morning students. So today's topic that are very interesting, and this is the main application, you can say, of NMR spectroscopy is the interpretation of the PMR spectra or proton NMR spectra of common organic molecules. So we will discuss this thing in a several way. We have already discussed this thing, how the different how the means different peaks of a particular organic compounds come in the NMR spectrum. That depends on the electronic environment, and this is reflected by the delta values of their protons and the number of splitting of the peaks. That means the peak, how many a particular peak is splitted into how many number of peaks. That depends on the number of the equivalent proton present neighboring to this particular group. So in this way we can interpret the structure of an unknown organic compound. Okay, so first question is, how many different kinds of protons are there in the following molecules? The first one is CH3CH3, that is ethane. Second one is CH3CH2CH3, that is propane. And the third one is CH3CH2CH, CH2CH3, and 4C6H5CH, that is toluene. And there is nitrobenzene, there is the ethylene, and this is the propene or propylene. So first you have to find whether they are here equivalent means chemically equivalent. Okay, because we are not finding the number of peaks right now, we are finding only how many different number of peaks arises in your NMR spectrum. So here you can see that you can easily these two protons are easily, that means they are marked as A and A, so they can easily connected or interchange by each other by a symmetry operation sigma plane. If you assume a sigma plane around this axis, then these two protons can these two type of protons can easily exchange their position, so they are chemically equivalent. So only one kind of proton present and all are equivalent, so you will get only one signal in the NMR spectrum. The second compound, you observe that if you assume a sigma plane containing the CH2 molecules, then this A proton means A marked proton can also easily replaced by the another A marked proton. That means they are equivalent, but this CH2 proton is different. Okay, so here the protons of two CH3 groups are equivalent as they can interchange by the mirror plane symmetry or 180 degree rotation about this either y-axis or z-axis I have shown here. So these two, for this particular compound you will find two signals. Okay, the third one is CH3 whole 2 CH, CH2, CH3. Here you can see that these two methyl group proton are one kind, so it's marked as A. CH proton is B type, that is marked as B, and CH2 is C type, and CH3 is another, CH3 is D type. So there are basically four different kinds of protons are present within this molecule. So this molecule will show you four different peaks in the NMR signal. And the fourth example is basically toluene. So with respect to toluene, these are orthoproton, these are the metaproton, this is the paraproton. So I have marked this methyl proton, that is A, and this orthoproton as marked as B, and this metaproton as C. Sorry, there is marking something different. Okay, just a minute. So the methyl proton is marked as A and all other protons are marked as B, because we know that methyl group can influence the electron density of the benzene ring only through the plus I effect. So this is not so dramatic effect or drastic change of electronic environment. So with respect to this methyl proton, all our protons are behaving in the same way. That's why I have marked all these protons as B, 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 B. So basically you will find in toluene there are basically two types of protons, that is marked as A, and 5 aromatic hydrogen, that is marked as B type. In normal 60 megahertz, that is low means low spin, or you can say low resolution NMR spectrum, that is 60 megahertz NMR spectrum instrument, only two signals appears, one at upfield because we know that low delta value 2.65 ppm, and one signal for all aromatic proton, because we know that because of this pi electronic circulation, the aromatic protons are present in the deshielded zone. That's why they are appearing in the higher delta value, and the methyl proton appear as lower delta value. So 2.65 is for the methyl groups, and the strong one signal for all the aromatic protons, which is present at the downfield, that is the higher delta value around 7.7 ppm. However, if the spectrum is recorded at a high resolution NMR spectrum or instruments, then the coupling pattern of the aromatic protons are observed. That means at that time you will find there are slightly different environment, because these are ortho, these are meta, these are para, so they are then show slightly different behavior and you will show a multiplet. Okay. And the fifth example is the nitrobenzene. So nitro group is a very effective group which can alter the electron density or electronic environment around the proton. So now we can mark this proton as A, because with respect to nitro group these two protons are equivalent and marked as A. These two protons are equivalent and marked as B, and these are totally different, so it is marked as C. So there are basically three kinds of proton present within these molecules. And since nitro group is very much electronegative, so it can effectively alter the deshielding property of ortho, meta and para hydrogen. And here I would like to mention that in case of the electron density alternation, then the nitro group affects more at the ortho group, then at the para group, and finally at the meta group. So the deshielding effects pronounced at ortho position, then para position, then meta position. Okay. Thus, spin-spin coupling between the aromatic hydrogen takes place, and this gives rise to multiplets, because these are now different protons. So we are not discussing about the multiplets right now, just we are trying to find the how many different number of peaks are appear. So there are 2 orthoproton, 2 metaproton and 1 paraproton. So these appears as 2 orthoproton at value of 8.25, because normal benzene the proton appears at around 7.7 to 7.8, and because these two protons are present in the d-shielded zone due to the NO2 group, so it's a little bit downfield more in comparison to the benzene proton, so it is appeared as 8.25 ppm. And the 2 metaproton, which is appear as 7.56, because we know that the metaproton are relatively less affected by the electronic or conjugation effect by the nitro groups, and it is appear at 7.56 ppm. And 1 paraproton which is affected more in comparison to the metaproton, and it appears at 7.71 ppm. So there are basically 3 signal you will find. The first one is the strong signal for 2 proton at 7.56, then appear a small signal in comparison to the the first signal at 7.71, and again a strong signal at very downfield, that means very higher delta value, that is 8.25, that is for the orthoproton. So this is because the orthoprotons are the most deshielded, followed by para, and then finally meta. The sixth example is that the ethylene molecules, so we know that ethylene protons are present in the d-shielded zone of the pi electronic deshielded cone. In the previous discussion we have shown this thing, so you can understand easily. In ethylene molecule all the protons are equivalent, because we know that in ethylene molecule you can exchange the proton by any of the symmetry operation, either by rotation about the vertical axis, or by assuming a vertical plane, or assuming a vertical plane along this direction. Okay, so they can be interchanged by plane of symmetry as well as two-fold rotational axis of symmetry. So only single peak appears at 5.4 ppm. Okay, and the sixth example is the propylene molecule or propene molecule. Here there is an interesting thing that there are basically 4 kinds of protons. 4 kinds of proton in the sense that these two protons, they are looks like they should be equivalent, but they are not basically equivalent, because they are not rotationally restricted. They are not rotationally free, they are restricted. So because of the restricted environment, they appears different with respect to the methyl group. So this is the methyl proton is marked as A, and with respect to the methyl group this is the B, and these two protons are one is cis to the methyl group and one is the trans to the methyl group. So there are basically 4 types of proton present in the molecule. So you'll definitely find 4 different kinds of protons, so you'll definitely find 4 different peaks in the NMR spectrum. Okay, in the next discussion we would like to determine which of the following molecule will show spin-spin coupling. Now we introduce spin-spin coupling, not only the position of the peak or the total number of peaks appear in the NMR spectrum. In their NMR spectra, if the coupling or splitting is observed, give the multiplicity of each kind of protons, that is give the number of lines arising from each proton. So here are some examples, so we'll discuss one by one. The first one is the Cl CH2 CH2 Cl. First of all, I would like to mention, or I'd like to remember you that these are the totally symmetric molecules. You can replace the two protons position by applying any of the symmetry operation, either by a C2 along this axis or C2 along this axis, or you can assume a sigma plane which can interchange their position. So this is a symmetric molecule, therefore the protons are equivalent to each other in all respects. So no spin splitting is observed, only one single peak is appeared. Second example is Cl CH2 CH2I, that is this one. So now the protons becomes different, they are not equal. So in this molecule, two CH2 group protons are not equivalent, thus spin coupling takes place, and each CH2 group is split into a triplet, because we know that the splitting follow the rules n+1, where n is the number of non-equivalent proton present in the neighborhood of a particular group. So both the signals will split it into a triplet, and we know that chlorine is more electronegative than iodine, so we expect the triplet for this particular group will appear more downfield in comparison to this group. And the third example is again we got a symmetric type structure. This molecule, two hydrogens are equivalent to each other because they are connected by the symmetry operation. So no spin splitting is observed, only one single peak will appear in the NMR spectrum. And the fourth one, we observed that we got a unsymmetric molecule. So in this molecule, each hydrogen is not equivalent, so spin splitting definitely takes place. So each signal is splitted into a doublet, because we know that with respect to this proton is present in the trans position, and we know the trans coupling is very pronounced, so it will split it into a doublet. So each proton signal is split into a doublet. Okay. And the fifth one is again a symmetric unsymmetric molecule. So in this molecule, the two protons are not equivalent. One is cis to the iodine, because one is cis with respect to the iodine and one is trans with respect to the iodine. So, or you can say other is the cis with respect to chlorine. So each proton signal is split into a doublet, but one interesting thing is that the two proton undergo spin interaction are on the same carbon, because we know that here actually I have discussed in of the different video or lecture that what is the spin coupling constant and how they are changed when the geometry of the molecule change, because these are basically vicinal type coupling, and vicinal type cis and vicinal type trans and geminal type couplings are different. And I'd like to mention here that vicinal trans coupling constant is higher than vicinal cis coupling constant, and which is higher than the geminal coupling. So here it is the geminal coupling, that means two protons are present on the same carbon atoms and they are coupled, they are coupling to each other, they are interacting to each other because their environments are not same. Okay. So the fourth one is the acetaldehyde molecules. The proton of the methyl group and the CHO groups are not equivalent, so it's quite clear. So the signal of methyl groups is split into a doublet because of the one hydrogen present in the CHO groups, and the CHO signal is split into a a quartet in the intensity ratio 1:3:3:1. Okay, and the second example is the acetone molecule. So this is a symmetric molecule again, so you can exchange the position by applying a C2 along this axis, or you can assuming a sigma plane containing the vertical axis. So this is a symmetric molecule, so no spin splitting is observed, only a strong signal appears for the 6 proton, okay, in a singlet way. And the last example is CH3CCl2CH3. So again, this is a symmetric molecule, no spin splitting takes place, only a strong signal for the 6 proton appears in the NMR spectrum. Okay, so now go to the next example or next question. Predict the low resolution NMR and a high resolution NMR spectrum of acetone. So the low resolution NMR spectra shows only the chemical shift of NMR lines of different protons, whereas the high resolution NMR spectrum shows both the chemical shifts and the spin-spin coupling. But the question is, we know that because we know that in low resolution NMR spectrum we find only the position of the peaks and the area under the curve. From this area under the curve we try to find the number of protons. So but and from high resolution NMR spectrum we got at the same time, means the position of the peak and the area under the curve. In spite of that, we got the information from the spin coupling. The peak will be splitted, so from this splitting we can understand the presence of the neighboring different kinds of protons. But in case of acetone, since all the protons are equivalent and this is a symmetric structure, only one line is observed in both high resolution and low resolution NMR spectrum. Okay, so now go to the next question, which is an organic compound which is empirical formula is C3H6O, contains a carbonyl group, okay, that is mentioned. How will its NMR spectrum decide whether it's a aldehyde or a ketone? It's a very good question. So according to the empirical formula C3H6O, now I can construct this from this empirical formula either a acetaldehyde or a ketone. It's very common because a carbonyl group both present in these two types of molecules. So according to the empirical formula C3H6O, this compound contains a carbonyl group. Thus two possible structures are CH3CH2CHO, and another is the acetone CH3COCH3. And in acetone we know that both the protons are same, but in the acetaldehyde, propionaldehyde, the three protons are different. Okay, so now you have to find the number of peaks arising or whether they are gives any multiplicity or not. So for acetaldehyde or aldehyde structure 1, NMR spectrum will consist of a triplet for HA and a complex multiplet, because we know that the HP proton first interact with the CH3 proton and gives the quartet, and then again this individual peaks of this quartet is splitted by the single proton into a doublet. That means it appears as a quartet of doublets, that is a total 8 lines. So it will consist of a triplet for HA and complex multiplet. So it's basically quartets of doublets for HB and a triplet for HC. And for ketones structure 2, since all the protons are equivalent, we will get a singlet, that is no spin splitting occurs. Thus the NMR spectrum would readily decide whether the compound is an aldehyde or ketone. That means if anybody supplied you with the empirical formula and gives the indication that a carbonyl group is present or any kind of group is present, and at the same time if you are supplied with the NMR data of this particular empirical formula compound, then you can easily find what is the exact chemical formula for this compound. Now go to the next question, which is predict the NMR spectrum of the compound CH3CO CH2 C triple bond C CH3. Since the compound CH3CO CH2, there are basically 1, 2, 3 types of proton present. So there are 3 groups of protons A, B, C are far apart. They are not in a position to interact with each other or couple with each other because they are not connected directly. So the HA and HB protons are separated by CO groups, and HB and HC are separated by the C triple bond C groups. So no spin coupling will observed, only the effects of the chemical shift of the 3 kinds of protons will be observed, and HA, HB, HC each will give rise to a singlet because there is no chance to interact. And definitely these HA and HC intensity, proton peak intensity will be higher than HB because this is for 3 protons for both the cases and this is for 2 protons. So HA, HB and HC will give rise to a tree singlet with relative intensity ratio 3:2:3. Okay, now proceed to this question. How can the NMR spectrum distinguish between the isomers paraxylene and ethylene benzene, or ethyl benzene you can say. So paraxylene is basically 2 methyl group present at the 1,4 position with respect to each other, and for ethyl benzene we know that CH2 CH3 group is present. So in paraxylene Both the methyl group are equivalent because they are connected by the symmetry operation, either by rotation about this axis or either by a sigma plane just perpendicular to this rotational axis. Okay, so they are equivalent, but in ethyl benzene there is no such symmetry is present. So in paraxylene you will find both the methyl protons are equivalent and others aromatic protons are equivalent. And in ethyl benzene there is basically three types of protons. The different all the different aromatic protons are one type, and the and the CH2 group proton is different type, and the CH3 group protons are different type. So in paraxylene has two kinds of proton, and its NMR spectrum consists of two singlets because there is no chance to interact magnetically and to give rise to the multiplates. So only two different single peaks or singlet peaks will appear. Whereas this ethyl benzene has three kinds of proton, and its NMR spectrum consists of a singlet for HA because HA are not in a position to interact with the other protons, a quartet for HB because we know that HB has three equivalent protons in the neighbor, so it will this proton signal will split into a quartet with the intensity ratio 1:3 3:1, and a triplet for HC because we know that with respect to HC proton two equivalent protons are present. Okay, so these are the conclusion. Now the next question that comes here is the predict the high resolution proton NMR spectra of CH3CH2Cl and CH3CHDCl. So here one thing we have just made this to make a difference, because one of the proton is replaced by the deuterium, and we know that deuterium is also NMR active, but its position of appearing the peak is not fall within this range for the proton NMR because deuterium nuclear spin number is 1, so it's appear in the high energy range, and that will not appear in the proton NMR spectrum. So if any proton is replaced by deuterium, so chemically the compound becomes same, but in terms of chemical shift or magnetically equivalence, these compounds will change. So if any peak appear for proton, if we replace this proton by deuterium, then this peak will be vanished. So deuterium does not give a signal in the proton NMR spectrum, nor it splits the nearby protons. Thus we can ignore its presence in the molecules. So the NMR spectrum of CH3 CH2Cl, which consists of a triplet for this CH3 proton and a quartet for this CH2 proton in this ratio 1:2:1 and 1:3 3:1, and so these are the representative NMR spectrum of CH3 CH2Cl. And while the second compound, that is one of the methylene proton, is replaced by a deuterium, the compound CH3 CHDCl in NMR spectra shows a doublet for CH3 because at that condition CH3 proton sends only one proton here, so it gives a doublet, and a quartet, similarly quartet because it sends a three equivalent protons in the neighbor of the CH3 group, CHD group, so it will present as a 1:3 3:1 ratio. So it is more downfield because of this Cl minus. So these are the case where you can find the proton will appear. Okay. So the last question is in this group is the below are given molecular formula of some organic compound that gives two singlets in their proton NMR spectra. So these are the compounds which can give only two singlets. So you have to find the exact formula for these chemical compounds. So the only restriction is they can give only two singlets. That means whatever proton present, they are not in a position to interact through spin-spin coupling. Okay, keep in mind that. So first one is C3H6O2, C3H8O2, C2H5OCl, C3H5Cl3 and C5H10Cl2. Draw the structural formula of each compound. Since in this question it is mentioned that there appears two singlet signals in the p NMR or proton NMR spectrum, so there should not be any spin-spin interaction. That is, non-equivalent protons cannot be situated on the adjacent proton or adjacent carbons. Okay, so C3H6O2, so the structure of this compound can be like that because it's a ester. It is the methyl acetate, so CH3COO CH3. Both the protons are different chemically, but they are not in a position to interact through spin-spin coupling, so no multiplet will appear, two singlets, so criteria is fulfilled. Second is C3H8O2, so the one only possible structure for this compound is CH3O CH2O CH3. So these two protons are equivalent and these CH2 protons are different, so we'll get two singlet but no spin-spin fluting. C2H5OCl, the only structure that fulfill the criteria is CH3O CH2Cl. So both the protons are different but they will appear as singlet. And the third empirical formula was C3H5Cl3. So I can arrange in this way: CH3CCl2 CH2Cl. So both the protons are different but they are not in a position to interact, so only two different singlet. And last one is the C5H10Cl2. Here you can arrange in this way. This is the CH2Cl, C, CH3CH3, CH2Cl. So look, these two methyls are equivalent because if you just bisect the molecule along this line, then these two protons are equivalent, and at the same time both these protons are same, CH2Cl, CH2Cl. So if you just bisect this molecule along this plane, then they can exchange their position. So two singlet line appears in the NMR spectrum. Okay, thank you.